Hey guys, I am so excited to be filming my first ever video in my new office. It is not quite done, but it is done enough that I can do some filming in here. And so last week I decided not to film my weekend like I normally do. So I put out a call for questions on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, just asking if there's anything you guys have been wondering lately, and I am going to do a Q&A instead of my normal weekly prep because last weekend was just a very busy weekend getting stuff done, going to visit some friends, and it was very fun and productive for us, but it just wouldn't have made a very good video. So I'm going to do a Q&A instead, and I divided most of the questions into different topic types, so you can always fast forward to other topic types if you're not interested in some of them that I'm going to be covering. So let's just start with talking about baby number 3. So what is my due date? My due date is August 20th this year, so by the time you're seeing this, I'm 36 weeks. Technically, you know, if I had the baby in like a week, she'd probably be fine. But my track record is I get induced at 41.5 to 42 weeks. I do have an induction date set because with our second born, after getting induced, they had checked me a few days before, and then we just said, you know, we're gonna have to induce you on this day because that's the hospital protocol. And by the time they actually like broke my water, there was no fluid, and I thought, oh, when she comes out there'll be fluid. Well, when she actually came out, no fluid. So they said they guessed maybe I had a tablespoon of fluid left and my placenta was showing signs of aging, and so they said let's bump it up a little bit this time to make sure that that doesn't happen again. But you never know, maybe I'll go into labor on my own this time. I'm just not counting on it. Will my husband get any time off with the baby? He is planning on taking 2 weeks off, which will be really, really nice. Who's going to watch the girls in the hospital? We've had my parents watch the girls in the past. They're most comfortable there. They live really close. My mom doesn't have to go into work most days of the week, so she's more flexible, so we're planning on having them watch the girls. How do the girls feel about having a new baby sister? They are so excited. It's so cute to watch them kiss on my stomach and sing to my stomach and rub my stomach and feel the kicks. They are so excited and just in love with her already. I can't wait to see them actually meet her. Do I plan to take any time off of social media and YouTube once the baby comes, or will I have videos scheduled ahead of time? Right now, I'm having a hard time getting ahead just because I've been working on this office so much, and I'm still watching one little boy a couple days a week, and then Celia's been involved in some stuff, you know, in our area, like classes and stuff during this time, so it's just been kind of hard to juggle and manage everything. So I plan to just do whatever works for me at the time. I may just do some like day in the life vlogs, or maybe I'll have a ton of energy, maybe the baby will sleep really well, or maybe she won't, and it really will just depend. I don't have any concrete plans at this time. How is the pregnancy going? It's going a lot better now than it definitely did at the beginning. I definitely am sore and can't be very, very active because I end up paying for it later, but overall I'm feeling really, really good. I'm only waking up like once in the night. I do get carpal tunnel, so I just got my little wrist braces out. I get carpal tunnel during the end of my pregnancies. It's a pretty normal thing, and it makes my hands go numb when I'm sleeping and kind of hurt. And so I have to wear braces at night, and sometimes they'll go numb when I'm like editing or doing my makeup or, you know, cooking stuff with my hands, which is annoying, but not the biggest deal compared to the first trimester when I was throwing up constantly and so sick and so exhausted. Okay, the biggest question we got was, what is the baby's name? Are you going to announce it? Can you give us any hints? We are not planning to announce it ahead of time. We did with our first, just because we knew if it was a girl, it was gonna be Celia Ray. When we were infertile, I was writing Celia Ray letters. We were praying for Celia Ray. Like, it just was a dream come true. Like, her name means heaven's grace. It was just total, like, the perfect story. And so of course we announced it with her. With Bryony, we did not announce until she was born, and with this one we are not announcing until she was born because we pick more unique names, and we aren't completely settled on a middle name yet. I think we are, but it could change. But she definitely has a name. She's had a name since we found out she was a girl. I guess the only hint I can give you 2 hints. The first letter will fit in line with rhyming with C, B. So the first letter rhymes with C and B. I'll put that out there. So there's a few other letters that could be. And it's a name that I really wanted for Bryony, but I didn't pick because I hated the spelling. So we're not going with the traditional spelling for this name, which did bother me, but now that it's probably my last baby, I just want the name that I want, and San likes it, and it's just a very beautiful name. So that's all I'm giving you. You can definitely guess what you think it is, but most people have not guessed it yet. Okay, somebody asked what are 3 tips I would give for going from 1 baby to 2. Honestly, everybody's situation is so different. For me, I was dreading going from 1 to 2. Even after doing daycare, I just thought it would be really hard on our oldest. And it turned out to be like the most magical time. It was so much easier than I ever anticipated. So I think it just depends on your first child, how the baby is, your expectations, and how much, you know, you've been around a lot of children. I think, you know, just get your older child on board right away, read books. We were able at that time to do like a big sister hospital tour thing and class, and it was super fun. I wish we could do that with Bryony this time, but because of the pandemic, we're not able to. But just really getting them on board and getting them excited and reassuring them that you'll still love them. And so just, you know, reading lots of books, getting them on board, having them pick out a special gift for the baby. Also, we gave our oldest a gift from the baby. So after the baby was born, we gave our oldest a gift, and so I would highly recommend doing that for any subsequent children, just to make the other older child or children feel really special and like they're still loved and valued. So we're definitely doing that this time around. A third tip, just don't plan on doing a lot, I guess. I plan to just stay in the house and not do a whole lot. We actually ended up going out to this festival like the day we came home or the day after, because I felt so good. But you just never know how your birth is gonna go, and if you have another child, you know, you're gonna wanna make sure you can really just rest and relax and nurse and all that stuff, and heal properly. So just don't plan to do a lot and give yourself grace. Is there anything different I would do this time around? Not really. I mean, I feel like this one I'm like the least prepared for physically, but like mentally I'm just ready, if that makes sense. With Celia, I had like a laminated birth plan. I had read all these books, did a bazillion exercises, and I still ended up with a vacuum extraction, 3 hours of pushing, 16 weeks of healing from my episiotomy. Like, just not at all what I had expected. So with Bryony, you know, I was really hoping for that natural birth again, but I ended up having to be induced. So that time around I was just more like, okay, if I have to get an epidural, if I have to get induced, whatever, not a big deal. And that birth was so redemptive. So this time I'm really just going into it like I'm taking the best care I can of myself within reason, but I'm not like doing all these exercises, and I'm not reading a bunch of books this time around. I just feel like I trust my body, I trust myself, I trust my husband, and I trust God that it's just all gonna work out the way it's supposed to. I don't know, I'm just way more go with the flow this time around. What are some unique things or tips I did during each trimester? Quite honestly, guys, I just try to survive. The first trimester was so rough. That is exactly why I was terrified to even get pregnant with a third baby, because it was really, really hard with Bryony, and this time around it was even harder. I was so sick, throwing up constantly, just crying, like, why do I have to feel so bad? How am I even gonna get through this? Just so exhausted, tired, physically, mentally drained, and just the throwing up is, oh, it's the worst. So I didn't really have any tips or tricks. I didn't document this like I did with the first or even the second. I just am trying to survive and do whatever I gotta do to get through and still be a good mom to my kids. So I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as possible, get through it, and survive. Okay, moving on to more like motherhood related questions, not necessarily about the baby. Somebody asked for simple cleaning routines. That's honestly something I'm working on, especially now that I'm not having a full daycare and I don't have a cleaning service coming in anymore. I need to get better about it. I'm just not there yet, especially being pregnant and being so sick earlier on in the pandemic and all these changes. I try to kind of link cleaning tasks with other things. Like, for example, we always wipe down the counters and sweep up the floors with the sweep vac, our shark, we call her Charla, after every meal. So that really helps us stay on top of like the floors and the counters. Bathrooms we just do once a week when we have time. Mopping I just kind of do when I have time. Vacuuming I try to do every Sunday and then as needed throughout the week. But I don't really have a very good system. I am definitely not like the cleanest person in the world. I hate cleaning. So it's something I'm working on, and once I have a good routine down, I will let you guys know. How do I de-stress at the end of a long day as a mom and being pregnant? I don't really know. I look forward to the end of the day all day, and I think I'm gonna like work on my office, or oh, I'm gonna clean the fridge, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna read this book or watch that show. And then the time comes, and normally I'm so exhausted, I go lay in bed and look on my phone, and then I fall asleep at like 8. So I don't know. I used to just like watch a show. I'm not productive at the end of the day. That's why I get up early, because I'm super productive early in the day, and so I save that stuff for the morning because I know I'm useless at the end of the day. So I will just, you know, quite honestly right now I just mainly look at my phone and fall asleep. But I don't know how much de-stressing that is. You know, I'll take a really hot shower. I love really hot showers. They are like from heaven above. I just love them. But other than that, like, I don't really have anything I do because I'm usually just so tired. Somebody asked like how I came up with bedtime routines, morning routines. I'm constantly adapting things as needed. I would say, you know, the routine we had when we had just one baby compared to 2 with 1 on the way is just way different. It changes over time. Right now, we start the same routine around, depends on how tired they're acting. Like sometimes we started at 7:15, sometimes we started at 6:30. It just really depends on how the girls are, but they're early to bed and early to rise kind of kids, and that's just the way our life has been structured for so long. So that's why we do it early. I know some people do it more like at 9 o'clock, but then their kids sleep till 7 or 8. Ours get up by 6. So it just really depends. We just usually will read a book or 2. If I'm on my own, I will usually read it with the girls together, and I'll let them each pick a book and we'll read together, and then they'll go separately. Celia will stay in her room, and Bryony, I'll go read her Bible and her devotional, then we'll sing, and then we'll pray, and we'll talk a little bit and cuddle, and then lights out for her, and then I'll go do the same thing with Celia. Or if my husband is home, we'll just, you know, divide and conquer, and we just trade off days. It's pretty simple, and I think when you're kids, you do it every single day and you never stray from it, and you always start at the same time pretty much no matter what, unless it's a very, very rare occasion. We leave family functions early. You know, we try to really stick to that, because if they go to bed late, they still wake up early, and then the next day we pay for it, and they're just like not fun to be around, and we're all cranky. So I just do what works for me. I will be sharing more of our routines, especially as the baby comes and we kind of get into a new groove, and I decide what we're even doing for schooling once Minnesota announces that. So yeah, I just kind of go with what things we want to incorporate in the day. Like, we wanted to have Bible time and devotional time with our kids, so we just do it at night. So we're making sure we always get it in. And then it's also like our time to just kind of talk to the girls individually and feed into them, and make them feel special and check in with them about how they're doing. Am I going to keep the same daycare schedule with the girls once I have no kids coming? Well, I right now have 1 child coming, and he also will still be coming after the baby comes. I'm going to take like 8 weeks off just to adjust, especially with who knows what's going to be happening with school. So I don't really even know what we're doing with our oldest, because she's supposed to start kindergarten this fall, but I don't know if we'll be doing in-person schooling. Like, Minnesota hasn't decided yet, and so we may be homeschooling, we may be doing partial schooling, we may be fully sending her. We don't know yet. We want to decide once we know what this whole state as a whole is planning to do. But we pretty much have the same routine in that, like, bedtime's the same, wake up time is the same, lunch is the same, snack is the same, nap time's the same, bedtime's the same. And then I just have a little more flexibility now because I don't always have another child with me. So we can sometimes go places and do things in the morning or the afternoon, which has been really, really nice. But otherwise, I really try to keep those main things in the same spot so that my girls know what to expect. And it just really keeps our day running smoothly and makes sure I get some time in the day to work on things or get stuff done or just rest. And so do they. So our middle daughter, Bryony, our second born, who she is gonna be a big sister now. She's turning 3 just a couple weeks after the baby comes, and so there were a couple questions about, you know, what kind of theme are we planning to do? Are we gonna keep it super simple? For her second birthday, she wanted a Sesame Street or Elmo birthday, so we did that, and literally like the next day she was planning her 3rd birthday party, and all year long, since last September, she has been planning a Paw Patrol birthday party. So we're definitely gonna have a Paw Patrol theme. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be very close family. We're not gonna do anything big because of the pandemic, but we definitely don't want to not do anything, and we still have been seeing some family here and there. So we want to make sure she gets her Paw Patrol birthday party, but it will be very simple. And luckily she's gonna be 3, like she doesn't care how big it is. She just wants to feel special and feel like we care about her and are listening to her. So that's what we're gonna do. Somebody asked, what are my favorite infant play yards? I have tried the Summer infant brand, the green ones, and I like them. I've had quite a few of them over the years, but I like the Regalo brand better. It's like a turquoise blue color. I'll link to both below, but I like the Regalo ones better because it doesn't have straps you have to pull out every time. It just has 2 bars that you push down and it locks. With the green one, you have to like lift the straps over every time, and I just found like screws started popping out, and it just took a lot longer to set up. And so I just like the other ones better. They've lasted longer for me, and they're just way simpler and easier to do like one-handed and in a really quick pinch, especially if I'm gonna have a baby on me and I got my 2-year-old and, you know, everything going on. It's just, I like the one step in 2 different spots and then it's set up. Okay, and then just like other random questions. Somebody asked me, what is my favorite dessert? For my birthday every year, my mom makes strawberry shortcake, which she does it like basically with like Bisquick. I don't know the exact recipe she uses, but she uses like Bisquick and makes like a really dense biscuit, and then makes like a homemade strawberry sauce with like the sliced strawberries, and then it makes a juice, and then you pour that over the warm like shortcake biscuit thing, and then you put whipped cream on it. So good. I love when the juice of the strawberries goes into the biscuit, and I just think it's so delicious and so refreshing and such like a summery food, because my birthday is at the very beginning of June. Otherwise, oh gosh, like I love most desserts. I'm not very picky. I love peanut butter and chocolate together, so probably something with that. I love my husband's cookies. They've been a godsend during this pregnancy. They're the best texture ever. And of course, amazing flavors as well. My favorite scent. I'm not a big scent person. I'm not a big like candle person. I don't wear a lot of perfumes. I just don't, I don't care that much, I guess. I mean, I love like a fresh laundry, like linen smell. I just smell so clean and fresh, even though like we don't use any scents in our laundry just because of our girls, and one of our daughters has more sensitive skin, so we just never use those. But yeah, I'm not really a big scent person. Favorite book I've read this year. I've actually not read a lot this year. I was trying to, and then I just, with the pregnancy, it's just been really hard. But I really love this book called, I think it's called like The Introverted Mom, and I will link to it below. It just spoke to my soul because I'm introverted, and it just really helped me feel validated in who I am and how I react and things like that. So if you are an introverted mom, I would definitely recommend it. It was a really easy read and just gave a lot of good ideas and made me not feel so alone. My favorite thing about myself, there's 2 things. I love just how persistent I am. I think that comes across on our channel. Like, you guys are like, how are you so motivated? When I decide I'm gonna do something, I do it. And if I decide I want to, you know, do this to a room or start this business or do whatever, I will do it. You know, sometimes I will fail and that's okay, but I pick myself up and I keep going, and that's just like a really good trait, I think, and something I want to pass on to my kids. It also means I'm very stubborn, probably hard to be married to, but Stan is a trooper and he's been with me a long time and knows these things about me. And then also, I don't know, you guys don't see this side to me. I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. I have like a really sassy, sarcastic, like playful side that doesn't come out unless I'm really, really close with somebody. But it's just like a fun part of me that I like it just fits with my red hair and the feistiness, but it only comes out when I'm like super duper comfortable with somebody and I know I can dish it out and they'll give it right back and they're not, you know, afraid of hurting my feelings or whatever. It's just, I don't know, it's a part of me that I do enjoy, but it just only comes out if I'm like 100% comfortable. Do we have a P.O. box to mail to? We do have a P.O. box because I had to set one up for business purposes. We haven't shared it just because we had one in the past and I don't feel right having you guys send us stuff. And yes, it's fun and I obviously love receiving things. It's very fun, but I don't want anybody to ever feel obligated to send us stuff, and I'm like trying to declutter, so I feel bad if people send us stuff and like we don't like it or we already have it or whatever. So yes, but I'm not telling you. What podcasts have I been listening to lately? I love the Parenting Junkie by Avital. I'm also taking her present play course, so I love her stuff. Ones I absolutely love, let's see. I love Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income. He's all about like online business. So if you're not into online business, you probably wouldn't like him, but I love his stuff. I listen to Chalene Johnson's podcast sometimes. I love Janet Lansbury's Unruffled. It is awesome for parents. It's all about respectful parenting. I got into her stuff last summer. I love the Office Ladies podcast by Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher from The Office, who played Angela Martin and Pam Beasley. Love that. I love Because I Can Life with Allison J. Prince. I'm also taking a course with her about online business. I love The Purpose Show by Ali Casaza, and I love the Young House Love podcast. Those are probably my top favorites. I had a couple questions about, you know, going from one income or going from two incomes to one, or, you know, working with a tighter budget, or how we found out we actually could, you know, have me stay home, even though I'm not technically staying home and that I do have income coming in. For us, I have kept a very detailed budget for years now. I do it on Excel, so we know exactly where all of our money is going. We know exactly how much we need to cover expenses every month. And I plan out in advance. I know what months we'll have more based on, you know, if it's a 3 paycheck month for my husband or like a 5 paycheck month for me. You know, I'm very conscious about money, so every week I'm paying bills and looking and updating the budget. So for us, I think I had projected, you know, what we would have to make for me to quit daycare. But once the pandemic hit, we actually sat down and said, what if I can't work? What if I have to close and have no income coming in? Like, what will we do? And so I like deleted my line of income on Excel and kind of played around with the budget and saw, you know, this isn't too tight. Like, it's tight and we have a lot of savings, so that's really a good cushion right now. But I also have this online business that does bring in money in various forms that I've worked for 5 years on, so that's helpful. My husband started a cookie business, so that's definitely bringing in extra money every month. That's been so helpful. And I'm still watching one child, and I'll be watching him more come, you know, after my maternity leave. So it's not like I went from like a decent amount of money to zero, so I'm not really good at answering that. We have our hand in a lot of things, which I would highly recommend you guys do in some way if you can. But I think the best answer is sit down with your budget. If you don't have one yet, make sure you go in and you track what you've spent like the last couple of months and figure out what that would be. and then just start deleting stuff. Like, we don't have a cleaner anymore. Our grocery budget has gone way down. You know, all those little extras, dining out, stuff like that, you can cut back on. Subscriptions you can cut back on. Luckily, we just haven't had to do a whole lot. I'm sure after the baby comes, you know, we'll figure different things out and kind of see, but for right now, it hasn't been so bad. Does my husband Sand mind that I'm on social media, and does he find vlogging awkward? No, he actually loves social media. He used to be like a way bigger part of this channel. It just, with his job and everything, it got really hard. So no, he doesn't care at all, and quite honestly, he's way better at vlogging in public. If you've ever noticed, we barely ever vlog in public because I'm so socially awkward about it, because I just feel weird. Like, what if I run into somebody I know? Like, it's just weird, and I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. So I rarely vlog in public. I rarely vlog our families. I rarely vlog our friends. So he's actually like way better and cares less what other people think than I do. So, and he does social media with his DoDaddy business and stuff like that, and he would do a lot more if he had the time. So no, he's totally on board. He loves it, and he knows it's my passion, and so he's super supportive. What is the single most helpful or impactful book that I've ever read? I've talked about this book a bazillion times, so if you've never heard me say this, you're probably new to our channel, but The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson literally took me from rock bottom depression to where I am now, of having a pretty successful online business and helping other moms and busy women, and just pouring my heart and soul into the things that bring me joy, being a mother. I mean, there were other factors, of course, that helped, but that book really gave me hope and taught me that you don't need some like way big life change. You just need these little things you do every day, and your life will change, and it has worked. So I'm living proof that it works, and so that would definitely be the one I would pick. Somebody asked, why do you push yourself so much? Can you sleep in more? You are one of a kind. That's very sweet. I was talking to another friend about this just the other day, about how it's hard on YouTube because, guys, I do rest, I do watch TV, I do take naps, but I don't film that. That would be really boring. Okay, I'm gonna sit and watch TV now. I'm watching TV, like, you know, I'm gonna take a nap now, here I am. I do mention it, you know, on the weekends when I do take a nap, so it's not like I'm not ever resting. But do I push myself a lot? Yes, because I love what I do, and I love being productive. I love just making a mark on this world, and feeling like I'm making a difference. And I just love the feeling of, I can do this. Like, I set out to do this, and I did it. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And I also, you know, I want to teach my children that. I want to teach my children that you can go after your dreams, you can work really hard. Is it really hard sometimes? Yes, but hopefully it will pay off. I finally got to, I didn't know if I'd ever quit daycare, and I got to that point now because I've worked so hard the last 5 years. So I don't know. I don't know if that answers the question, but I do sleep in sometimes. I don't get up at 4 a.m. every single day. Like, sometimes I sleep in. I'm pregnant. I give myself grace. I wasn't posting as much when I was throwing up all the time. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being, and I don't like to come across like I'm just constantly busy all the time. I am like a very, let's get this done, let's go. I don't like to sit around a lot, but there are times where I do. And then lastly, somebody asked, what did I do with all my daycare stuff? If you've been following along on our, you know, minimizing and decluttering organizing series, I have pretty much shared what I've done with everything so far. But most of the daycare stuff I've kept. I haven't gotten rid of a lot of like toys and learning resources, sensory bins, stuff like that, because I am going to still be using a lot of that stuff with my own children and the one child that's still coming to see me. And then if Celia ends up getting homeschooled, I wanted to have all the resources. So I haven't really gotten rid of a lot of that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I guess if you have any other follow-up questions, you can leave it in the comments, or if they are disabled, you can head over to our community tab, find the thumbnail for this video and leave them there. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this was entertaining to get to know me a little bit better, but I just love getting to know you guys as well, and just appreciate your support and just following me along on this journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.